which is my show, but I'm not involved anymore. I'm gonna need you to cancel this live at Sun Arena thing. I don't want to hear
everything. Cancel conga, cancel album, cancel show, cancel zonke.
But the way in which he's going about it, he wasn't just keeping it G and be like, hey, these people have stolen from me, I'm gonna get him. Some of the tweets now have turned into jokes. There's tweets where he's talking about, I've always had money, I used to wear Gucci when you were in nappies. Now it's weird, you know what I mean? It's taking a weird journey now.
About the concept.
So 1 minute it's about, hey, intellectual property, and it seems to have a personal problem against Maporisa. Because like, when I'm fan, I like, I'm fan. What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to another beautiful episode of the POPcast. We are coming to you live from our second home now.
Yes.
Matt Black, if you've been following the show, then you know we've been here more times than we can count, perhaps now, but we love it out here. It is in Nicolway, in Bryanston. Do pull up, have a drink, have some food, always a good vibe. But of course, I'm rolling by myself. I got my co-pilot with me, Miss Cosmo.
Hey, how you doing, Moochie?
Better every day, how you doing?
Ish, I'm sipping on a little something here.
I can't Lavon. Lavon, I got off duty or something. It's like she's on leave or something.
It's nice to be here. It's nice to be at Matt Black. Kumnandi ukuphuza izinto ezinice, ezisweet, you know?
And of course, to my right, we have an amazing guest, Msakazi. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I said that earlier on, and you're like, yeah, well, am I joining you guys or did I gate crash?
I sort of harassed you. I was like, you better have me on the show.
And speaking of Msakazi, you can see everybody here, you drinking today.
Yeah.
And she insisted that we have these because they're actually named after her.
Yeah.
Please tell us just a quick something about this drink.
The story is that I'm really special. And
okay.
I'm really special, and the co-founders of Matt Black decided to name it after me. It's that simple.
But why?
Because
why
I'm special.
You and not anybody else?
Because, but on the real though, when this place was being built, I was here from like inception, like
really?
all the time. Yeah, like when it was.
You're here with the builders.
Yes,
laying down the cement,
the cement, you know, everything, putting it together, and they were honoring the friends who helped it come up
together. Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, guys, sure, you honored everybody else, but you know, where's the girl?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
dope. Okay, so what's in it? So that people know what they're ordering.
So there's rum. And there's
there's
some syrup, and there's some ginger, a little bit of ginger. So it's quite nice and sweet. Like if you've got a sweet tooth, definitely for you. Yeah.
Okay. Did you actually ask them what you wanted into the
Yes,
cocktail?
I made it with a guy called Eugene. So when he was putting together different kinds of cocktails, he was like, okay, what do you want in yours? I was like, I'm definitely a rum girl, so that has to be the engine.
Oh wow.
And then from there and I love some ginger. Yeah. So
I can't remember the last time somebody actually said that their number one drink is rum.
Right, it's been a while since I've drank rum as well.
Yes,
but I'm drinking now. I'm like,
which one is this one?
rum, it's been a while, but I welcome the taste.
It's nice when it's mixed together.
Yes.
Because the rum can come through and change your life, my boy. If you're not careful. Anyway, we're gonna open up today's show by just sending our condolences to Busi, Lurayi's family, as well as Tumi, Tladi. Who both passed way too soon this past week.
Yeah.
Very, very tragic deaths.
And I think also it was also just a little bit shocking.
Yeah.
Because both news came out on the same day, which usually you know you're still trying to settle in on the one, and then another one comes in, and you're still trying to find answers. And it's just like what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Especially now because in the industry it also just feels like there's like this wave of what's actually happening, why are people going through so much. According to news and the family's statement that we still don't know exactly what happened to Busi.
Yeah.
I think they're going to find out obviously once they've done the autopsy for her. But for Tumi Tladi, it was via suicide, which is also like a concerning conversation, especially with regards to entertainment at the moment. And it's not to say that it's only happening to people in entertainment. I mean, everybody struggles with mental health. Well, some people here and there in different variations. And life is hard, man. Things are expensive. There's a lot that's going on, and people don't really deal with it in certain ways. And it's quite sad that we've had to lose people for us to pay attention to this big issue that we're facing.
Yeah. For me, it is very scary. Like, it's always scary. All the time I see somebody one off themselves, because especially when it's public figures, my biggest concern, of course, is always that there's so many other people that looked up to that person that are going through the same issue, which was the same conversation I had with Rika. I was like, it is sad but scary at the same time, because so many other young people are struggling with so many things. And when they see someone that they look up to go through that, they also go, okay, maybe there's no hope. Maybe I might as well also do the same thing. So I think there's a huge conversation that has to be had around the fact that mental health is exactly like high blood pressure. And it needs pills, and it needs for you to go to the doctor.
Exactly.
And for you to continue with your medication, because it's chronic, depending on what you're diagnosed with.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very important point that you're raising, that people need to treat it the way you treat every other disease. You know what I'm saying? It needs a lot of attention, but also we need to get to grips with the fact that sometimes, like, asking the question, why, if they'd gotten help sooner, I don't think that's a very useful conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it attacks people in different ways. And every time we lose someone, sometimes we make it a lot about us. Like, I was with that person last week. Why couldn't they say anything? Or I've been seeing them go through something. I thought they were dealing with it. Like, there's no calling it. Outside of us having these conversations, the most important thing is to keep talking about it. Because then people that don't know anything, that don't know how they're feeling, at least can be part of the conversation and maybe get the help that they need.
And you know, there are also a lot of misconceptions around it, because we'll have the conversation and people will say, but that person has to step up, that person has to speak. Sometimes they also don't have the capability to understand what's actually happening with them.
Absolutely.
I remember even having a conversation once when I interviewed Jay Molly, and he had mentioned that his album was basically named after his situation, because he also went through depression, he actually went even to a psych ward for a moment, and he actually said the only reason he survived it is because he got the help, he got the therapy, he got the pills. And sometimes it's not only just talking it through, sometimes you actually need medication. And people run away from that reality. People run away from the fact that it actually is an actual sickness. And there's this bad stigma around therapy, and Black people feeling like therapy is only for crazy people. And it's like, no, maybe sometimes you're also just not understanding what you're dealing with, and you need the assistance. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. I need Black people to stop this thing of feeling like they're weak if they're asking for help. Ask for help, or like even the people around them, try and be there and love them and support them in any way that they can.
And there's another, and I'm happy you touched on like medication and going to a psychiatric ward, seeing a psychiatrist and a psychologist. The actual conversation we should be having is the fact that it is not accessible to a lot of people. Mental health is expensive in this country, like any other thing. So you can't go to a clinic and be given a psychologist. There isn't a psychologist at a clinic. So maybe how do we then, in our industry, because like other industries do afford they people, their employees, mental health. So how do we in our industry start having a psychologist, to go to a psychologist that maybe every single month you pay a certain amount of money, right? Where it's affordable, because it's not affordable. So people then, they just sort of figure out how to deal with it. They resort to alcohol, they resort to weed, which, by the way, also makes it worse, especially if you're already struggling with your chemical balances. If you take weed and you take alcohol, which is another conversation we're not having, is that it actually makes you worse. It makes you really, really worse. So how you view situations once you've had a drink or once you've had weed is not the same way.
You know, once we teach people, because people turn to drugs to lessen pain for whether it's grief or lessen pain for being sad or depressed. If people understand that you're just taking the wrong medication. The drugs that you're taking, there's ones that are prescription that could actually help you feel better versus the ones that are making you escape. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the conversation is a bigger one, and maybe it starts even from record label thing. When we talk about musicians, maybe it starts with production companies. When we talk about people in front of the screen, people who are entertainers, to be able to have some sort of system to help people. Because I think the hardest part to understand then becomes, because celebrities are usually supposed to always be happy. They're supposed to have money. They're famous. So them speaking about sadness seems even more. People at home be like, "Hey, I'm sad. How is this guy also sad on TV?"
But you're
you know what I mean? Your life should be way better than mine. How are we both struggling with the same thing? And then that's when we need to understand, we actually are struggling with the same thing. And there's no fame or money that could ever help you get over something without the proper help.
Exactly. And just speaking to before we wrap it up, speaking to the point about it being inaccessible, it is expensive. I'm not going to act like therapy is cheap. It's not cheap. Medication isn't cheap. Cost of living is just expensive right now. However, there are means and ways and subsidies that are available. So I do need people to also just check out SADC, the helpline.
Yes.
They do offer some options.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'll assess you and see which way that they can assist you. Sometimes maybe they might even subsidize your therapy sessions by 50% because there is a government fund that subsidizes some of that.
Actually,
so if you do feel like you can't afford it, just call the hotline. They'll either assist you online, they'll try and help you as well. With regards to finding somebody who can be capable enough to suit you and your needs and to assist you from a financial perspective as well. So, I mean, if you go directly to a therapist, yes, you're going to get like a big bill, but there are other options, and I just need people to kind of explore those options as well. You know?
Absolutely. Busi and Tumi, may the soul rest in peace. I'm staying with some music news now. KidX is not the only, or is a new rapper who's also coming up with his sneaker line. We already know Cassper has done it. We've known people collaborated in the past. AKA himself has collaborated. And PT Wear Brand is where KidX has focused his talent on to create a new sneaker. If you guys had a look at it, what do you think about the collaboration?
I didn't really see the actual sneaker, but I saw the news. But what I thought was really interesting is how a lot of, and I know we're speaking about KidX, but if you look at like fashion and production, there are a lot of black people producing sneakers. So I'd be interested in what is it a much easier business venture? Why is it such an interest to black people, especially now, like it's in South Africa?
Do you know what I think it is? For fashion perspective, I mean, obviously speaking about culture, we're always going to know that entertainers are always co-linked with fashion because it's about an image, it's about an aesthetic, it's about how we look, how we feel. It speaks to the brand, it speaks to the collaboration. When people admire you, they're gonna say, oh my gosh, I love KidX, he's a great rapper, how can I be like him? I need to look like him, I need to dress like him, I need to sound like him. So people will either mimic the way that he raps, but they'll also mimic the way that he looks, so that they can kind of feel like they're emulating their favorite artist one way or another. So I don't think it's a bad thing that artists are collaborating and saying, hey, I mean, if you're going to try and look like me, I might as well make some money. You know what I mean? With regards to the guys, I think the guys, it's easier for them to go into sneakers because that's what guys usually gravitate towards. And girls usually go towards fashion because I saw even Anele Zondo did a collaboration with The Fix this past week as well. So with the ladies, it's a lot more the clothing, the and fashion, the accessories, the hair, the sunglasses, you know what I mean? And the guys usually gravitate towards the sneakers because I think it's the one thing that speaks to every guy, that you'd be like, yo, what's your kick game like?
Yes, that's
because I'm going to look at your shoes if you're trying to holler. If your shoes are looking a little... What? I might just say, I don't know if you've got the juice, you.
Absolutely. I think more than just, I would say it's an easier business model, but especially because of that, it comes naturally to a lot of people. And everybody's looking at like guys overseas and how much money they've been able to make, but also owning your own brand just feels like the ultimate thing. Celebrities usually, the more famous you become, the more you want to have ownership of the stuff around you. Because everything that you wear is promoting something else at the end of the day. And so the bigger that you get, you're thinking, I can't be wearing Nike every day, Adidas every day. Then I'm putting like another big brand on. That's why fashion is always like the most easy go-to. Gotta release a line of this, line of that. Because at least it has my name on it and I'm making a lot of the money of it. People that are buying can buy my name. So I think it goes with influence and goes with what we grow up knowing. And fashion is definitely right up there. And I would say sneakers though are a tough business in terms of like, I mean, you don't want to have the guy who has whack sneakers. It's just like your own brand. You want to create your own brand and then people are like,
Which one?
So that's the biggest risk you take is people saying, King Daddy.
Which one?
Which one is this one now?
But what are those?
So if I personally was to ever do a sneaker in the future personally, I think I'll tirelessly spend time trying to create something that I just know is like this. I don't care what anybody says, this is hot.
But also in the black culture, let's be honest, there's a lot of pressure in terms of like, just like what Ms. Cosmo said. If your sneaker game is not dope, it's not dope. Like, and nobody's trying to have a conversation with you because the first time you walk into the room, people are looking at your feet, and then after that,
but and then just set up, my brother.
Because it says a lot as well. Like if you look after your shoes or you look after your feet, sometimes with the women, because we'll wear open-toed shoes and things like that. Just if you look after what's happening here, then I'll say, okay, if you're paying attention to the bottom, you're going to pay attention to everything else. That's why the
you can
ladies want to
see.
see what's happening by your shoes. Please, my brothers.
What are you hiding? If your shoe is like this, we're going to wonder, what kind of underwear are you wearing? Because this one we can see. What about the things you can't see?
Exactly.
It's got those, right?
Exactly.
So we start from outside and say, Judge, come on, guys. You know, as black people, drippers just come naturally to us.
It's a pride
Looking
and
good.
joy.
It's not even about a money thing. Anywhere you go.
And you know, it doesn't have to be
doesn't
expensive.
matter.
Looking good
Exactly.
does not have to be expensive.
Yeah, that's
It really
Stylos
doesn't.
born out from anybody. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you go, from the richest of the rich to the poor of the poor. People think about what they wear.
Yeah.
It's just in us. You know what I'm saying? So it may not be Gucci, but you're like, no, Banyela.
What's that mean?
Banyela. You could be in the village, you could be in the hood, it doesn't matter. Or Banyela
Yeah.
today. I know I'm stepping out correct. But shout out to KidX. Happy to see how the rollout of the shoe will be.
Yeah.
If there'll be any more collaborations to come, any more styles, I hope it's a successful one. Going from KidX, one sneaker dealer, to another sneaker dealer, Cassper. But it's not about sneakers now. His show, the Braai show with Cass, outside of its controversy, actually managed
What
to
controversy?
I don't know. Because before it was Braai show with Cass, was Braai show with another guy. So that little controversy that we had,
Okay.
it managed to come out unscathed clearly because it's been nominated for a SAFTA award.
Okay.
Shout
Shout out Cassper, shout out Cassper. I guess he's diversifying his
portfolio.
His portfolio.
Yes.
And it's also kind of knocking down some of the chats that were happening on socials, because I know a big conversation around Twitter was also about his numbers weren't really doing as well as the first season. But it's at the end of the day, you also just got to look at the product and how it was put together. And you know, I think that's why it got the nomination, because sometimes with award shows, like even like the SAFTAs, I don't think it's necessarily sit down and judged by the public or people who are on Twitter.
Yeah.
People must also remember that Twitter is only a small portion of people in this country.
No, quite small.
So,
very small.
Don't
It's
mind
not
the
the real
haters.
world.
Go
Yeah.
after that award.
That's
Go and
true.
submit. Go and do what you need to do, because your work is what speaks for you at the end of the day. So the fact that they got nominated, a big shout outs to them. And Casper's not the first rapper to be nominated.
Rouge.
Yes,
Yeah, Rouge, yeah.
Rouge actually won her award.
yeah.
Yes,
Won.
for a micro budget film. For a New Era Sessions, it was for her album. So she won the award, basically the first rapper to actually win a SAFTA award. So shout outs to her. So we'll see what Cass kind of walks away with, you know?
Absolutely, good luck to him. As a lover of music, you know, we
Mafi
see
Gang.
people and Mafi Gang. But see,
No,
these are
you've
the
got a problem with
transitions.
Mafi Gang.
Oh, I wanna know.
No, she does. No, I see
I have a
it.
problem with Sipo. I don't have a problem with Mafi King. I love
Oh, so
Mafi
this is
King.
personal.
I have a problem with Sipo.
Why did you say it like that? Okay.
Anyway, continue.
What was I even saying now? you get me boiled up talking about Mafi Gang.
Yes.
But I mean, it's good to see guys diversifying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going from music to on stage, that love of art and that exchange of it from clothes to, it's great to see, because let's guys know that they can do anything. Especially the rappers who are always put in a box. You know what I'm saying? Just rap. Now we're seeing guys winning TV awards and whatever. So hopefully he does win it. Again, that would be a good thing for the music or maybe the hip hop community at
Speaking
large.
of diversifying, do you see Cassper on a house song?
Has he
Do I
done
see-
this for house
I'm
song
sure
before?
Casper's. I mean, mostly
I've
it's
never
been
heard him on a
more
house song.
Amapiano, but I mean,
But a house jam, because that's where a lot of like I feel like what Drake did with Black Coffee is encouraging rappers to move towards that, extending the sound. Like
Hey, but then now we need to make sure that the auto tune is on lock, because you can't just come into a house song.
it must be just
You must literally you must have the best auto tune in the game. Otherwise, please just leave us. Because now it's going to become a little bit noisy. It's
no, but
gonna
it must start
tricky,
somewhere. It
yeah.
must start somewhere. Then if people get it wrong, other people will get it right.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Casper dabbles in dance music, as we
Yeah.
already know. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's a stretch for him to be on a pure house song.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a stretch. I guess the hard thing now is when you go there, because if this one piano still allows you to be lyrical.
Yeah.
And rap.
Yes.
Whereas house music now is like, what does he do? Does he sing on a house track the entire time? Like you're saying, the auto tune must come through, right?
Because that's the
Is
thing.
he producing the house music? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I guess, you know what, with Cassie normally is going to come through with a bit of a verse and a rapping thing. So maybe that's what he would do. It would be interesting to see.
Yeah,
And the fact that he's
yeah.
done it with Amapiano,
No,
I mean,
definitely.
like,
I see
he's
him.
literally opened up the
I see him
doors,
doing it.
you know?
Yeah, he's not just a rapper, like you were saying. Yeah.
Absolutely. Staying with some more music news, doing numbers. Something Soweto song, Amagents.
Amagents, where the gents were so mad that they were being called out. Hey, Ndabazenza Pumile.
Yeah,
and it went
yeah,
gold.
yeah.
That,
Yes.
Yep, the track went gold.
Yeah.
Great for him. I'm glad to see he's come
So
back into
happy for
music.
him.
you know, he's another person who spoke openly about depression,
yeah.
and that's the reason why he was quiet for so long. He was trying to get right with himself, and he seems to be in a much better space now. And the music is definitely sounding dope. And to see him go gold, I think it's just so quickly as well.
Insane. No, within less than a month. Less than a
Yeah.
month he went gold. Less than a month.
Wow,
Yeah.
Because the
no.
ladies just want to know what's Amagents party.
But also he's
And
just
Something
such a
Soweto
sweet
said, don't worry,
guy.
ladies, I've got all of the juice. Just listen to my song. Ninga worry.
He's such a sweet guy, hey?
He is.
He's like I've never, like I look
He's
at him like he's such a sweet, he's
literally the
a
sweetest.
perfect boyfriend. Like if you're trying to get a boyfriend, just look at him and
Are you
mimic
throwing
that.
bones here? What's happening?
I'm just saying, he's a sweet guy.
Something Soweto.
Uh-huh.
I
I'm
feel
just saying you're a
like you
sweet
can make
guy.
a phone call here, eh?
Something
Something Msakazi.
Something
Msakazi,
Hey?
Something
Just a little
Msakazi.
something happening here.
Yeah, you never know what's going on, what could happen.
But the song did go gold. Shout outs to him and his team. And like you're saying, it is a good confidence boost, especially because he's been through so much. And he's one of those people who also spoke about the fact that I think he also had a bit of an issue, like there was a social media situation where he felt like he was being trolled. That obviously kind of played part in him kind of pulling back a little bit. It's good to see him back on the map. It's good to see him performing because he is one of the artists in the beginning of when we were publicly exposed.
Of Amapiano.
Yeah, well, not Genesis as such, but I think more the commercialization of Amapiano was Something Soweto was at the front of a lot of those songs.
Yes.
I mean, Mkambini is still one of my faves. One of my faves.
Timeless baddie.
Every time I hear that song, it's like the first time.
It's a
The
classic
Timeless
song.
Baddie, yeah.
So it's good to see him because I want to see him performing this summer. So shout out.
No, Devs. Yeah, I'm very
Shout out
happy for
Samthing.
him.
Soweto. Thuso Mbedu, who we've spoken about in the show a few times,
Yo.
about her movies. We spoke about Underground Railroad that came out earlier last year.
Yeah.
This year she's worked on a movie with Viola Davis that's coming out. What's the name of the movie again?
It's called The Woman King.
The Woman King. I mean, Viola Davis, Thuso Mbedu. I think she's gone now.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
You know when you can't speak about someone anymore? You're like, I say
Yes.
so many congratulations. In actual fact, I'm congratulating her for the next decade.
Yeah.
Like,
please. Thuso just
if
keep
you don't
killing
hear me
it.
say congratulations, it's because she's gone. Like,
And it's also at the perfect time for her to be collaborating with somebody so big because people are going to pay attention to this movie because it's Viola Davis. Because Viola Davis also had been struggling through her career, had been trying to get appreciated because we all know at the end of the day, Hollywood is also like a very masculine, white male dominated area. But for her to also kind of come through and push through, especially because of How to Get Away with Murder, but also some of the movies that she's done, this is her peak time in Hollywood.
Yes.
At her peak time in Hollywood, and then having somebody like Thuso Mbedu also then saying, okay, come, baby girl, let's go.
Yeah, but
She's gonna shine.
I think she outside of acting, she actually genuinely loves Thuso.
Yeah.
Like genuinely. Like I see them having coffee. I've not seen the pictures, but I feel like they had on a Friday
Big
night.
sister vibes.
Yeah, on a Friday night. Like because also colorism is such a big issue, not just in South Africa, but in the US as well. And having watched her documentary with Oprah, really unpacking how even with all the work that she's done, she still felt like she's not good enough because of how she was abused, because of her color and all of that. Like, I see what she's doing for Thuso. She's like, baby girl, you're not going to go through what I went through. Come, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Let's
love
collect
it.
these awards.
Yeah.
So watching the trailer has been exciting also because, you know, you get a sense of how they're trying to emulate. Some of the stories are actually true because it actually says based on some true events, which is going to be interesting to see which ones of those are actually true. But the way that they've kind of put it together, the trailer is so exciting. I'm keen to actually see it. I know the soundtrack also has some South African artists on there as well.
Great.
I heard the My Power by that was originally on Black is King.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beyonce,
So that's going to be on this one as well. So I just want to hear how many other female artists are actually going to be on the soundtrack. But I think it's going to be dope, man. The only thing that frustrates me, I won't lie. So one thing, Americans and the way they portray the African accent.
I know.
Yo.
I wanted to say that so bad. But more than that, I wanted to say the African tale is just exhausted. I feel like tell people how we are now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I felt like show them a picture of us
living our
rocking
best.
now,
Rocking.
La Bonne Vie, like
rocking
La Vida
Portugal,
Loca.
right?
Absolutely, because that the whole struggle story of Africans, it's been overdone, guys. It really has been. It's been overdone. If they could actually tell a story of Thuso now,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? Like,
The accent is, we need to sort that thing out. I don't know what I have to go to do. I have to send some people to America.
Hey,
to
more
Hollywood.
Wakanda.
First, you
Need
must
some
Idris
consultants.
Elba. But
Because
I
if
forgive
you
him
watch-
because he's hot.
I watched Black Panther recently.
Again?
Yeah. Recently, I watched Black Panther, and the accents were bad before. And if you think they were bad before, you need to hear them right now. That guy was like, "Mbonise kuti wena ungubani." I said, "Absolutely no way." "Mbonise kuti wena ungubani."
Unyana Gaboni.
I said, "There's absolutely no way." Unyana wakamani mina ngizumshaya. I said, "No. Cut it." That was the cut they chose. They said, "That's a good take." Yeah, we're keeping
That's the
that.
best.
Seal it in.
That's the best.
That's the one.
Send it to edit. We're in.
So it's very frustrating, and I will always speak about this when these movies come out. I feel like we need to send representatives to tell them, guys, man,
To assist with the accent there.
something.
But also, if for example, Thuso can go to, let's say, a Spanish class to get her Spanish right for why don't
She
they do the
worked so
same?
hard for that American accent for Underground
She
Railroad.
killed it. So why don't they do the same? Why don't they export somebody? I mean, they can export anybody, and say go there.
Right, but Black Panther 2 is also rolling out, so I'm keen to see how that's gonna come together.
Andifuni lokhu ibona la movie. Izohamba noBraai. Yeah, I've had it.
Wakanda.
And just the last word on Thuso. She did strike a deal with Paramount Plus.
Oh, dope.
Where they're going to be creating content together with her, and she's going to be
co-producer.
Co-producer on some TV shows. So very
Nice.
excited to see what the relationship will
baby
look
girl.
like. If she's going to be pulling in some people, some talents from back home to feature and give them the opportunity that she's gotten now to create some content together. But looking forward to seeing what she's going to do, man. Like I said, she's gonest.
Honest.
Somebody who's not gone is our homeboy Anatii, who we thought was, but he's now back. And he's got everybody talking about his new way of releasing music. We speak about NFTs and we speak about
Do you understand
cryptocurrency. And these things are very, very complicated. Easy but complicated at the same time. But also very, very new, especially to the African market.
Yes.
And I remember when the cryptocurrency and the NFT wave was starting, a lot of people were saying Black people must jump on it now, because we're usually the last to jump on some of these advances. By that time, people are already making money off our likeness. So I remember the conversation with NFTs right at the beginning, and if you see a lot of rappers in America invested in cryptocurrency, spoke about NFTs all the time, because they're like, guys, before they start making money off us, let's start now, we'll learn as we're going. You know what I'm saying? Anatii also has been spending a lot of time, I've been hearing, in the cryptocurrency world, and with dealing with NFTs. So much so that he's released his first single in about 4 years, Punisher, as an NFT, which you buy with the Ethereum cryptocurrency. Ultra. I'm all about it, but how do you guys think this will work out for him? Do you think we're ready? Do you think it's too soon?
My question is, and I'll throw it to the people who are watching, is if Beyonce is not off Apple Music and Spotify, do you know what I'm saying? But she also does. No, she does release music through and her other stuff through like other avenues. Like they'd be on NFTs or whatever the case is. But if she still understands that this is a mass audience, that you can't, for the life of you, try to. It's like a system. The system. If I look at Beyonce and Jay-Z, then I go, okay, they're doing that. Copy and paste.
I mean, they tried with Tidal and then they went back to Apple Music, so that should also kind of show you. However, I think I understand what Anatii is trying to do. I think he's also trying to be like a pioneer of forcing a new way of thinking, and he's also trying to again engage Black people to get into this thing, which is NFTs. However, firstly, I'm mad at the fact that he took off ears because my brother bring that album back. But I understand him. I don't agree with him removing his old music. I understand him releasing his new music on a new platform.
Yes.
I think what he's trying to do is then say, okay, if you like Punisher on this platform, then buy all of my old music on this platform as well. It's gonna take some time. We're still trying to figure out electricity, let alone Wi-Fi.
Internet.
Okay? It's not busy get Wi-Fi. It's not busy with electronic trains that are being sent to South Africa. I don't know how they're gonna, because load shedding. Okay? We've got bigger problems right now.
No, for Africa, definitely. And I agree with what you're saying.
How NFTs work also are a lot more complicated. I've tried to buy wallets and to get involved, and I just got very confused. And I'm a nerd at heart, so for me, I was just like, yo, this one is bigger than me.
Yeah,
I don't
have Miss Cosmo. What am I doing?
You know what I mean? I mean, there are some people obviously who are smarter than me who understand it, but I'm saying me as somebody who I would consider like a normal person who just tries to get involved with whatever's happening in technology, I don't get it. What I have heard though is that if I think about 50 people were to buy his song on the NFT, that's equivalent to him going gold on all other streaming platforms.
Okay.
So he just needs 50 people to buy into this idea and he can immediately go gold. My thing is, how many are you going to find who are going to spend, because they have to be your fans also. It's not just random 50 people. Yeah. It's 50 people who understand NFTs and also who appreciate your music.
Yeah, that's true. That's a lot of effort.
And on top of that, again, like I said, he's selling it with, because there's Bitcoin and then there's another cryptocurrency called Ethereum. And you have to buy it using that cryptocurrency. Yeah. So you know that cryptocurrency its value fluctuates all the time. Like right now, cryptocurrency has been going down, but one of those coins could be worth a lot more money tomorrow. So he's selling it to you at basically, you're almost buying a stock from Anatii that could fluctuate in price. So you're buying it for 100 Rand, but tomorrow when you give him that 100 Rand, that 100 Rand could be worth, it's like buying in coin, like in gold. You know what I'm saying? You could say, give me one gold coin for my track, but gold fluctuates, right? So you could buy it for $100, but tomorrow when he walks out with that $100 with a gold coin, it could be with 500 tomorrow.
So you're also making money.
Yes.
No, he's making money. You're making money from owning that NFT, and he's making money of basically selling you a share of something, which could fluctuate in price. So it could be worth a lot more tomorrow. What he's trying to do is dope. Too soon for South Africa? Perhaps.
I don't think
100%. But
you don't think so?
No, I'll tell you why. I think somebody has to start it.
Sure.
Yeah. I think somebody has to start it.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's winning is besides, the point. But it's like somebody has to start it, and somebody can be like, we're not ready for it. But he's like,
okay.
Which is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think it's nice that he's sort of challenging our thinking. We're sitting here talking about it. Like, it's like intrigue. It's like, why would he do it now? And you're right. I don't think he should have taken his music off all the other platforms. I think he could have done this personally and still kept his music, but he probably has his own reasons. Yeah, it's
very interesting because, like I said, obviously anyone can buy this around the world like you can with any other music. So I think he was testing it out to see how it could perform everywhere around the world. He knew South Africans were going to be like, well, this is too early for us. None of us are into cryptocurrency. And like we're barely trying to understand a few things. So in his mind, I think he's thinking, well, I'm a global artist. I'm not just a South African artist. I have a global audience that I can reach out to that understand NFTs a lot better. So if I can get people outside to invest, later on, he may come back and tell us, I actually did pretty well with my one single. We don't know if he's going to roll out an entire album like that. Kanye did it on his own platform with Donda 2, which exists, but a lot of people haven't heard it because it's just on Kanye's platform. You must go there to listen to it. So, and I think it was almost like, let me just do it.
Yeah.
Just to say I did it. These guys who like to do things first, who like to test things out. Even if it fails, they'll be like, it's fine, I gave them Donda already, they bumped it. Let me put part 2 out and let me just see what happens.
Yeah.
Let me just test the market. It's my music, I own it. So I understand it's him being experimental. I don't think he'll drop an entire album as an NFT personally, but I think that's why he's throwing out a single to say, let me see what happens.
But I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to push the thinking, like you're mentioning, that somebody has to start it. We might be mad because we were like, but I was still enjoying on Apple Music. What's happening? However, I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to change people's mindsets, trying to get us a little bit more unlocked onto what's happening in the rest of the world. It is going to be a slow takeoff. It's definitely going to be slow because people still don't even understand what an NFT is, let alone trying to buy a song that way, But you're right. Good on him for being the guy to test the market. I mean, Anatii is one of those people who doesn't necessarily have to live off of his music, unlike other artists. So he can at least experiment with this way. So shout outs to him for being next level and trying to think further than what's happening right now. And yes, because Tina, we're still like, hey, data must decrease.
Is it still falling? Is it still falling?
Data.
It must fall.
It's falling slowly, but
everything, even electricity must fall. But you mustn't switch it off. Just the prices must fall, please.
Do you rate that maybe it should be the music wave Amapiano that's taking over the world that should be investing in cryptocurrency? Like if Maporisa and DJ and Kabza, if they put out, because their sound is now being spoken about everywhere around the world. You think if they were to we're releasing an NFT as a song here, let's see what's going to happen.
Even on Easy, I was actually thinking when Ms. Cosmo was speaking about us not understanding NFTs and all of that, And I'm like, actually, imagine if Easy Equities, because South Africans are already about it. Like,
Yes.
imagine if Easy Equities actually incorporated multimedia and
Yeah.
not just like music, but even a film. If you produce something, you know, like you watch it, you invest money in it. If it grows, then the person you believe in can produce another one. You grow with them, you make money with them. Like if Mr. Coleman decides to start like the podcast on Easy Equities. We put money, we believe in it, and it grows. And I make money, you guys make money. Like
I mean, you know what I mean? Like there's many ways to kind of skin this cat. I mean, like you're talking about with the Amapiano artists. I mean, we all know how they took it to the rest of the world. They went to AfroNation. They killed it. They had their own stage, which was massive. I mean, people like Chris Brown are starting to make Amapiano. So obviously, from a global perspective, it is taking over. Especially Europeans have all the money. Americans have all the money. They should be also kind of jumping into this box. I do think though they need to figure out how to make it work for all of their fan base, because at the end of the day, you might be doing NFTs, maybe say for like a niche market, maybe like one song that you only want to release in Europe. That's fine. But then your South African market is not going to fit into that. So you need to then figure out how is the music going to work from a South African perspective, and then you do like a European release, you do an American release, you do a South African release, which could be different. Because you know how sometimes they can also bar the regions. Yeah. And then you say, okay, actually, in the European region, this is what you're getting. In the US region, this is what you're getting. South African region, that's not that. You guys are getting the normal one. You know what I mean? And it's okay because you're still working in different platforms. You're still becoming a global artist, but in different ways. So I think Amapiano needs to jump on it 100%.
I mean, we see Amapiano artists traveling and we see them doing big things, but I know to be there in the vibe is different. How was that experience for you when you were in Portugal?
You know, when you want to tell everybody, guys, this person, we're going next door. Literally, like, I know this person. Like, guys, wait, stop. I know this person, but it was insane. It was emotional. Just to watch every single person just in action. Like, I think I'll go through Musikis, Devon Gogo, Focalistic, and all of them, but I have to start with Pori. Pori is the Lord.
Really?
Pori is the Lord. So what was interesting was to see Pori perform in Portuguese and Spanish. He was speaking Portuguese and Spanish mid-performance, which made me realize that performing in South Africa and performing overseas are two different things.
Yes.
So he would say, "Can you feel it?" in a different language, and they would respond. And I'm like, what do you mean? He literally had the audience like this. And honestly, I would say all the other guys that were there, they can learn so much from him, like from catering to everybody. Nice. There are people who live in the UK who are from South Africa and the US, but then there are people who love Amapiano because of TikTok.
Yeah.
And they are there because of the movements and all of that. And Pori understands that, okay, they don't get English, they don't understand English. So how do I also keep them in the crowd? And I think that was one moment where I went, wow, like this is just a freaking full circle. Like it was insane. Like just him, and also just the build up of his set. He'll start off slow and build it up to the highest level. It was insane. And of course, Musikis was amazing. Devon Gogo was amazing. Focalistic was amazing. But, you know, I can't take it away from Pori. Pori is the standard. He's the standard in South Africa. He's the standard overseas. And I think there's so much to learn also from a production level. I think when you're involved in like from the back end of the music to the post, it shows on stage.
Yeah, because your idea comes true on stage.
Yeah,
so
and
dope.
you know, and he's actually not just like a DJ, but he's a producer. He is a performer.
Yeah.
He is, so to see, and even the way he was dressed, it was wholesome. It was like watching like our Beyonce, if I could put it like that. Like it was wholesome, like it was amazing.
What's happening on the other stage when because I know there were two different stages. There was the Amapiano stage and there was the main stage. So
there were two stages. There's the Amapiano stage and then there was the Afrobeat, hip hop and pop stage. So I knew were really, really, and I got, somebody came at me on TikTok for this when I said it was amazing to see South Africa have their own stage. Look, they could have squeezed us into that other stage where they're playing other artists. And of course, the main artists were at the other stage as well, where they were playing pop, hip hop, and all the other genres. But this pushes the culture to the next level, knowing that if you F with Amapiano, you know where you're supposed to be. And the only time that then the stage wouldn't have anybody was when there were headliners. That's the only time. But all the time, I'm telling you for free, all the time, that even, for example, CK or Omale was performing on the other stage, the Amapiano stage was
It looked like the busiest.
I'm
Every
not
time I
lying
see
to you.
what people were posting.
And it's not South Africans. It's not South Africans.
Yeah.
It's people that don't understand anything we're
They
saying.
don't understand Zulu,
but
but
they
they're
want
inside.
but also what I realized is that they actually want the TikTok songs. Because they don't listen to Amapiano the way we listen to it at Tanzania or at regular spots. They want the songs that they hear on the internet. So I think an incorporation of a lot of like the songs that they hear on the internet is a lot more amazing, and mixing it up, of course, with the songs that they wouldn't know. So yeah, definitely. And a wholesome moment was then was seeing Foka, Youngstana, I could be wrong, but I think Msakazi, but they were all on stage with Pori, honoring him as well, because you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
the Lord.
Like the Father.
Lord,
Yeah. So they were on stage with him. They went on stage earlier, but then they came back and were on stage with him, and it was amazing.
Now Portugal looked like a good time. We missed out there.
Yo, man,
No.
and you know what? I think I'm loving the way that South Africa is also taking over the dance scene just globally, because I mean, there's AfroNation, which obviously you had witnessed, but now also seeing Black Coffee and Drake kind of having a moment in Ibiza. It just goes to show that we actually have the juice. We must just stop being afraid of it.
Let me tell you because after AfroNation, we went to Ibiza. How I knew that literally the shit is like driving out of the airport, go Spain. And I'm saying 2 minutes into Spain, Black Coffee's billboard. He's the only one on the motherfucking billboard. He's there. You're literally driving into Ibiza and you're seeing his billboard. 5 minutes into Ibiza, you're seeing him with Martin Garrix, David Guetta, and you're going into the hotel. We're staying at some hotel and they hear the accent. They're like, "Oh, you're here for Black Coffee?" I'm like, "Oh no, we're gonna miss him." They're like, "Yeah, he's coming on Saturday." He's a fucking big deal. I don't want to lie to it. On the internet, yes, you see it, but to be on the ground,
and to feel it,
and then people hear that you sound like him and that you're probably you know him, you're from the same country, is absolutely insane.
Now, Black Coffee and has been gone, and it's good to see him. People need to give him his respect, but like I said, ask you to explain it, what it's like on the ground. It's that feeling that you get. Oh no, this guy is the guy. But people there are like, no, this is the guy.
Yeah.
When it's with like, what did you like? This is the guy.
No.
You know what I mean?
They're the ones
It's not like
fanboy.
don't think of him like some sort of ice boy, like he's happy to be here, ass nigga. No. They're lucky to have him.
Lucky to have him, not happy to be here.
But I've got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you then, I mean, dance house music is back, definitely.
Yeah.
Drake and Beyonce said that. Do you then see an opportunity for a lot of South African producers sort of moving internationally with that? Because we are the lords of house. Like, we really are.
Absolutely.
Like, we are. That's why Rough Gum came here.
But
like,
that's my thing, and that's why I'm saying we need to stop being afraid of it. Because I think South Africans' biggest issue is that we're too comfortable. We're too comfortable going to the tavern, Thabiso. We're too comfortable going to Durban, Cape Town, because it's a 5-hour drive instead of taking a plane. Hey, there's too many shootings for you to be staying here. Let's go.
That's true. Let's go.
That's
true. Let's vibe.
Pack your bags. Get that visa. Let's go.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only people who are holding South African producers behind are themselves.
That's true.
I really feel like we can literally pack this thing up and go. Whether you are doing deep house, whether you're doing commercial house, you're doing Afrotech, you're doing Amapiano, you're doing Gom. Pack up your shit and go.
Yeah.
Because we are literally house nation for a reason.
No, for real.
And as you can see how much we've influenced the house genre, from guys being able to produce for the likes of Drake, Black Coffee himself, on the old album and the new. So like Black Coffee is new to producing for hip hop
Drake,
artists, or for working with David Guetta or whatever.
Yeah.
He's been producing for these guys.
Yeah.
Our local guys need to jump on that wave.
No, for real.
If you guys must go watch Pop Radio, and we're talking to Shimza about this. About the fact that you need to be able to take advantage of every opportunity given to you and learn from the guys.
Yeah.
People are scared to like learn from someone's moves. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh, it's because I'm gonna do something different. Come here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and us.
Somebody's busy opening doors for you and showing you a path. There's no reason for you to brainstorm anything.
And Shims is another person to speak about. Like, I think what I saw when I got to Ibiza is that actually don't be afraid to invest into your craft. It's like an investment. They don't know you. They're very great with house, but they don't do it like us.
Yeah.
Like, get there and give them what we've got, you know? And don't be afraid to invest in your craft, even if it means you backpack. Like, backpack, Europe is expensive. Find a cheaper place to go. But look, nobody knows that you're backpacking. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you take a video.
Exactly.
You're good to
On
go.
Instagram,
You come
I'm on
back-
the streets,
You come
don't
back and
nobody
you shoot
know.
up the price high. You tell them, hey, my nigga, I was in Europe. I was playing in Blue Island. Please. come correct. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Using your own money to do exactly that. We've spoken about it many times on the show, and Oaks are scared to do that. Go, 2 men, you and just your guy.
Yeah.
Forget where you're staying.
Sometimes just go on holiday,
hustle.
just go and see.
Go
You
and
can
enjoy.
make your contacts. The second time you go, you'll be working, you'll be playing.
To go there and you meet people and to shake their hands is different than to be DMing people or whatever, trying to figure things out. Just go there and take a chance.
I mean, speaking about somebody that is always in Europe, Euphonic, who was also there in the week that I was there.
Yeah, he's now Temba now. I think he left Euphonic
Temba.
in South Africa. He's saying, I'm not this guy anymore.
Yeah, no, he's Temba. But he's like a regular guy. He's like, you're definitely going to find him like at the regular spots there, and he plays all the time, and it's not a thing. Because he's built his own relationships that side, and he can be there for quite a long time. We got to see one of his sets while he was there. Literally, like, if you tell them Euphonic,
they don't know who Euphonic is now.
Yeah,
which one is that one? But Temba. Oh!
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah. But dance music, please take it to the top.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
Our time is definitely now. Mzansi to the world.
Yeah, but dance music is also kind of going through a little bit of an upheaval here in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain show that's having a bit of drama.
Oh yes, of course. I can't believe how we didn't even touch on this.
I saw.
Scorpion Kings, of course. Well, remember the Scorpion Kings live was planned for pre-lockdown.
Yeah.
And they sold tickets to 2 shows, in fact.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and they told people, you know what, hold on to your tickets, we'll figure this thing out later. But apparently there is a guy that came up with the name of the show, it being Scorpion Kings Live. So now that they're redoing the show, this guy has come back to say, you guys are continuing with the name of the show, which is my show, but I'm not involved anymore. I'm gonna need you to cancel this live at Sun Arena thing. I don't want to hear
everything. Cancel Conca, cancel album, cancel show, cancel zonke.
Because of a name.
Because of a name dispute. Oh, he's saying the event is the dispute.
So now, if you've had any recollection on some of the shows that he's done, I think the difficulty about being a promoter, and I had this conversation with even previous promoters, is that sometimes people don't really know who the guy behind the vibe is. When you just see a poster, you want to pitch up, you know, you rock. And I think for him, his cry is that he's never been one of those people to kind of want the shine of the performances or the events or whatever. He just has the concept, he has an agency. He has the concept, he sells the concept to the artist or to the corporate or whatever the case may be, and then he executes. He doesn't want to then people say, oh, my name is Smang Mang, I am the guy. No, the flyer is not going to be about him, it's about the artist, right? He did that with various shows. If you check out his Instagram, you check out his Twitter, you'll see a lot of the shows that he's done in the past. He did the Java one-man show. I think it was Java Live or whatever.
Yes.
Can't remember. He did the Shasha one. He's done a couple of things with MTN. He's done a couple of things as well, even during lockdown, where there was a lot of like events and campaigns. He's behind all of that. You can see it. The track record is there on his Instagram. So I think what his biggest qual is, which is what I'm getting from the Twitter, the tweets that he's been posting.
Many tweets.
Yeah, many.
A
tweets. Ooh, Thabiso, you had time yesterday. Oh my God, you had a lot of time. Anyway, so he was tweeting basically saying, these guys are going ahead with a concept that I put together. Now, I think what people are confused about is that it makes it seem as if he's saying Scorpion Kings, the name is his. No.
Yes. Oh, okay.
He's not saying the name Scorpion Kings. Okay. He's saying the event.
Oh, okay.
And that's why if you check the hashtag that he posts, he says Scorpion Kings live at Sun Arena. He doesn't say Scorpion Kings. Because he's not fighting about the name. The name was theirs. That's Kabza and Pori. That's 100% their name. He's saying the event, Scorpion Kings live at Sun Arena, is his name, his concept, his idea. Okay. He put together the one that was originally cancelled because of COVID. Now he's saying how, but these guys are going ahead with my event. Why not for it? So because now he feels like he's being locked out, he's saying, oh, then let's open because you guys want my money. So that's why I think that's what his goal is.
I don't think he's gonna win this one. I don't. I don't. It's an unfortunate situation because they can literally come back tomorrow and say Scorpion King Live 2.0, and the event still continues.
Yeah,
but you know what? The thing is, I think what he's fighting here, which a lot of creatives also have to fight, and it's difficult. This is maybe the hardest fight that creators have to go through, is who came up with it first. Because you could easily come together with a concept and say, I'm pitching a TV show. You send it through to, I don't know, multi-choice. You say, hey, this is the show I want to put together. They give you the runaround,
then you see it.
and then you see a similar concept, and then they say, no, but you said this, we changed it by adding this, and now it's a new concept.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And in academia,
gone through that.
and sorry to cut you, but also if you think about academia, you literally taking existing ideas and then you paraphrasing and then you adding here and there, which is the case with anything in actual fact. Nothing really is new under the sun. You're taking things that exist and you're like, okay, let me switch it up. If you look at the POPcast, you're like, they're sitting like this in these colors. Okay, us, we're gonna be blue.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna
And
have
there's gonna be 4 of us.
Yeah, and then it's gonna add a white guy in the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? But the content is the same.
Yeah.
Everything's the same. There's nothing new under the sun. So I think, and I could be wrong, but because I also don't know the nitty-gritties of the deal and the agreement and the paperwork. But they can literally tomorrow they can wake up and say, okay, Visa Scorpion King live when reload it.
Yeah, I think his cry is that I was there with you and I
At
did
the
this with you.
inception.
Yes.
I did other shows with you that I contemplated.
But the game is not fair.
And then I'm like,
The game is not fair, guys.
so that's what he's crying about. He's
Are
like,
you saying it's okay?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying the game is not fair. It's definitely not
So you're
okay.
saying you must just swallow it and let it go?
I'm saying the game is not fair. And you also need to pick your battles. If this is a battle that he wants to go through with, then he can go. But you pick the game is not fair. You pick your battles. If you feel like, okay, I want to fight through and through, I have the time and money, then he can go through with it.
My only qual is him tweeting.
he says he has the time and the money. So,
Yeah, and he says he has nothing to lose.
Oh,
Absolutely.
great.
So
Then
my
let's
only
see
qual
it.
with the way he's going about it is Twitter. That's my
It's the worst,
sometimes
yeah.
it leaves a sour taste in people's mouths when you try to actually have a meeting and have a conversation. People already have misconceptions and they got anger because of built up of whatever was said publicly. I feel like yes, he should fight for his money. Yes, he should fight for his IP. I just disagree with using it on Twitter.
But how?
Yes.
See, Twitter rants make you look like a small boy. Doesn't matter how big you are.
That's
Twitter rants make you
true.
look like a child who's
And
putting
it's
his toys
so
out the
sad
court.
though,
Even if you're saying the real thing. Because a lot of people have come to Twitter and be like, oh, this person stole my A, B, and C. But the way in which he's going about it, he wasn't just keeping it G and be like, hey, these people have stolen from me, I'm gonna get him. Some of the tweets now that have turned into jokes. There's tweets where he's talking about, I've always had money, I used to wear Gucci when you were in nappies. Now it's weird, you know what I mean?
It's not
taking a weird
it's
journey
not
now.
about the content.
So 1 minute it's about, hey, intellectual property, and it seems to have a personal problem against Maporisa. Because like, when I'm fan, like, I'll try I'm fan. So, you know, his energy is all over the place. He's showing up at offices, he's taking pictures outside Soweto, saying, people must come out and meet him now.
Malachi.
The way he's going about it seems like he's laughing while
There
he's
are
tweeting.
no conflict
You know what I
resolution
mean?
skills.
And I'm like, he looks like he's typing saying, hey, like he's having a good time. On his back at home, having a fat laugh saying, check my next tweet out.
And the attention, of course.
So now we don't know what it's really about. Is it
Yeah.
maybe just a personal problem with somebody? Is he going to take it all the way to court? Does he just want to sit down and have a conversation with people?
Maybe he also feels like this might have been his last resort. Maybe he tried to talk to them.
I'd like
Because
to
you must
think he
remember
did.
the event is happening this week.
Yeah.
So leading up to
shucks,
it,
yes,
exactly,
actually.
leading up to it, he probably did try to have the conversation, but they've been mising him. And I think for him, he was like, Azishage,
As limits
because you're not hearing me, so let's rock.
Because it's a pre-party
You
at
know?
Konka as well, and Gary was making threats against that party.
Yeah.
Until he had to correct himself and say, okay, patrons of Konka, you're safe tonight. So,
He was gonna come-
And
he
you
was gonna come
can't
one
make
man.
threats right now. People
You know
get
what I
shot at that place.
Yeah,
Stop making threats.
so Gary, he did something, Gary quickly, took a step back and realized, okay, this is not so
No,
funny
he said he
anymore.
had a conversation with the Conga guys.
Yeah, but I get it, there was some vague threats that he was making. So he said clearly, Uguti, everybody's going to be safe. I'm not threatening anybody at Konka. Everybody must relax. But I'm
Okay,
saying
then.
that's coming from the fact that he knows it's not funny what's happening right now. So I'm saying his tweets are all over the place, so it's hard to tell what type of person he is.
I think he's just angry and he's worked up, and you know a lot of people don't think clearly when they're
you're
angry
upset.
and they're emotional. Rationality sometimes does go out the window, which is why we might feel like the tweets are all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm saying fight for your money, bro, but just figure out a better way to do it. That's it.
Trust me, many of us could have gone to Twitter for many things. Many things. Behave.
Because
People
you
got
choose
some-
your battles.
People's got some
We
qualms.
fought our battles in private until they were sorted out.
Yeah.
But many a time,
That's
people
true.
have come incorrect and had to get corrected. And there was times where, like, I think today is the day I open a thread. Today might be the
No.
goddamn day. I have to look in the mirror and say, Sipo.
after you saw the nigga pay on a holiday or some sort of
make you look
with
crazy.
your money.
Okay, they're not gonna reduce me to some crazy 20 rand ass nigga.
Yeah.
I actually want my real money. I don't want attention, you got that challenge. Anyway, I hope it gets sorted out anyway. We've had too much positivity around Amapiano to be able to deal with these small things. So whatever personal problems or business issues going on with Scorpions Live, which people already have tickets for, by the way.
It's sold out, is it not?
Yeah,
but they released more tickets.
Oh, right.
that's
Like the venue size is bigger now.
Oh.
So
How was it bigger?
I wonder if bigger. They can allow more people because
because COVID.
They didn't sell out because of COVID.
Oh, makes sense.
So people who had bought initially, they didn't sell out then. So they said, bring your ticket from 2020, and then the rest of the tickets went on sale.
Dope.
That's what
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
meant.
be
Because of the restrictions. I understand.
So
now.
they were making
Hope
adjustments,
Sipo
but now
doesn't
it's for Who, me?
The guy, what's his name?
Thabiso.
Oh, Thabiso's gonna be outside trying to block people from coming in. Hey, this is my event. hey. People are like, yeah.
It's my name.
It's my name. Take it down. No, you're that guy now very, very quickly.
Oh man, it's tricky, but hey, creatives need to be protected one way or another, you know?
True.
This is also the difficulty. I think that's a conversation at large here is at what point do we also then step back? Because I still need to fight for my money. Regardless, yes, he might not be able to stop the event from happening, but he needs to get his cut. I think that's what all he's fighting for at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, Nai, it was his concept. He wants to see it come to life. You know, nobody, no creative wants to see the idea go to waste.
Yeah.
He probably wants the event to happen. He just wants to be part of the guap. That's it. You know?
Nah, definitely. I would say I hope it's resolved amicably and not on Twitter. Rot. All right, going into some new music from this week. Landrose released a track with Sizwe. Sizwe Alakine.
You know, earlier, Sipo said to me, he's like, yeah, no, Landrose featuring Sizwe. I was like, Sizwe Shomo. I was like, is he rapping again? Do you know why? Because he's been trending this week, so I thought it was him. I was like, which one is on the song now? I had to go and listen to the song. I said, oh, it's Alakine. It's not Shomo.
The song is called No Excuse. Have you guys had a chance to listen to it?
Yes.
Now, on this track, he's rapping. They're both rapping. Sizwe Alakine, when you see it, I thought, oh, it's going to be like a piano vibe here. No, he's left the reason behind, but he brought him onto this track with the raps, which I like, because basically what he's doing right here is letting people know that I can still rap. Okay. I've never stopped rapping.
Yeah.
I'm still one of the best at it, better than half you niggas out here. But also the song it's like a fun back and forth where they're talking about how people perceive them. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about the fact that, guys are coming at me on Twitter, but in real life, when I say what's up, they want photos, or they shun me this way, but then they want me to write for them. They want me to be on their songs, but they act as if I am not. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm making money. People are acting like I'm a deadbeat broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like, but they're doing it in a nice, fun rap way, which I think was very enjoyable.
That's dope, man. You know what I would have loved, and maybe this is a personal thing, and it's not necessarily something that has to happen. I understand he's gone through like the rebrand. I understand that he's trying to say, yo, Sizwe Alakine is the Amapiano guy. I'm saying you can be both niggas. If you're gonna rap, just be Reason again. And then when you are doing Amapiano, be Sizwe Alakine. They can both survive.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to leave one behind so that the other one can push forward. Because when I think Sizwe Alakine, I think, okay, he's still rapping, he's still making Amapiano, but he's not as intricate in his raps, he's not as lyrical, he's not as profound in what he's doing in Amapiano, as opposed to, in Amapiano, he's more like a Kwaito star. Yeah. And then in hip-hop, he's Reason, you know? So if he's going to feature on a song like this, just say your reason, bro. Let's go. Because that's what you're giving us. And especially if you're collaborating with somebody like Landrose. Landrose is about the raps. Yeah. Like, he's that type of artist. So you hear it in the song. You hear that he did bring Reason along. But like I said, it's a personal request from me. But, it is what it is. Maybe he's got his reasons for why.
I want to check, do we have a situation where Reason is on the same song with Sizwe Alakine?
Yes,
like
yes,
he has a song with DJ Kamo. It's DJ Kamo featuring Reason and Sizwe Alakine. They're the only features. I said.
I like that.
I like the concept of that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm gonna play with both these characters.
He even loves. He even raps about, because he'll rap, and then he goes out in Bizzo Alakine, and then Alakine comes on. I'm like, what the fuck?
I love it.
That's creative. You know what I'm saying? So at the very least, Reason is having fun, regardless of what we say. Reason and Sizwe Alakine, they're both having a good time for themselves. It's clearly working for themselves. And I mean, push on, bro. I'm excited to see him do more fun stuff like that. But you're right. I guess the whole Reason Alakine thing is is where I don't know if a distinction needs to be made because we know what both of them are about.
Yeah.
But in terms of like how he moves forward, because now he's rapping here, and it's like okay, but it's Caesar rapping. And Caesar does.
Maybe he's also confused, guys. So he goes,
Maybe
no.
he forgot one
He's
second.
like, hey, come on.
Which one?
Which one is this one?
But the song was dope, man.
Yeah, go bump the music.
Landrose is doing I think he's also just trying to kind of create a little bit more of his own identity. Those heavy hip hop fans will know who Landrose is, but I think the creative scheme of South Africa probably still trying to get to know him. But yeah, man, I dig the song. I think it's moving in the right direction. Just reason, please. And so we know you're rapping. And then Sizo Alaka and we are jiva. It's okay.
Another artist that's been quiet for some time is back in fray. AB Crazy.
Yeah.
He's back with Hlonipo with a song called Joy.
Yes.
I personally love the jam. It has this nice quiet vibe about it. You know, it's very easy to listen to. It's a feel-good track, I could say. This Joy, as described in the name of the track itself. Have you had a chance to bump it?
I have. I played it once. What I dig about AB Crazy is he knows how to pull out the musical aspects from himself, because sometimes people lose that. You know, like you can be somebody who's a good lyricist, you can be a good producer, you can be a good, I don't know, hook writer, whatever. Like everybody has their strengths. The one thing that AB Crazy has, he can make like a classical song or like a
sing-along.
Because he's musical in nature. That's his strength, and it comes through in the song. And of course, using the choir to do that as well is also just a bit of a, you know, that musical element. So shout out.
I was also quite happy to hear him on radio quite a lot. I mean, I've heard him on Ms. Cosmo's show, on my show on Metro FM, on Hurricane, and just that feel-good daytime radio song. He's that guy. Like you're guaranteed during the course of the day, you're doing your errands and he's there just sing. He gives you your sing-alongs. Like, yeah, so shout out to him.
Shout out AB Crazy, man. Good to see him back in the conversation. And lastly, another week, another Amapiano hit, I regret. The musical chef and Muramba pitch of a track called Obrigado, where they feature King Kabza the Small on the track. And what do you guys think of that one?
No, insane. I love. I mean, the musical chef. It's a win for me. I was just obsessed. It's a nice song. I love it. Yeah.
I also love how they know how to kind of pick each other for these collaborations as well. The musical chef, Murumba Pitch, they've got like a certain lane that they're kind of going on that is not necessarily like the typical, okay, we're making an Amapiano hit, let's go. So they're also like, okay, let's go the musical route, let's go, you know, the vibe that we're trying to create with the song is a lot more like genuine, more like summertime feel vibe, and that's why maybe the song is called Obrigado, because it's also trying to give that Caribbean-esque type of feel. So shout outs to them, man. The song is dope. Obviously featuring Kabza the Small, you can't go wrong on that one. And also timeless. Like they're not on the pressure of making a hit song.
Exactly.
It's a long game for them. You can hear it in the production that this is a long game. They're not just here trying to get, you know, a quick job. So I love that vibe.
Shout out Obrigado. I think it's a dope jam as well. How can you go wrong when you get Kabza on it? I love everything about the jam. When they say they're featuring Kabza the Small, what? You know what I mean? Like, what do they say when they say they're featuring him in this instance? What's his feature?
He probably helped with the production.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Because that's what they do. You know, when they've got like 10 people on the song.
Yeah.
Obviously, not all of them are producing. Maybe 5 of them are lyricists or whatever the case is, or they're authors on the song. And then from a production perspective, if you're all sitting together and say, add a snare here. Okay, no, you need a hi-hat here. No, these drums change these ones. Okay, no, you need to 1, 2, 3. That's production.
So it's whether collaborative production.
Yes, whether you're sitting in front of the computer and touching the buttons, or you coming with your idea and it's being used in the song, you're a producer.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Ms. Cosmo, because you've been in production before.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens that you don't necessarily do anything on the song.
Yeah.
But I trust that you guys understand our creative flows.
Yeah.
So you guys go and you create the song, and then you come back to me, I'm Kabza, and you say, okay, listen to it. And I say, it's dope, I like it. Just add that. Then that's it.
Of course.
Yeah, like sometimes that's the conversation, not necessarily being there and, right?
Of course, to be direction.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying you don't necessarily have to be touching the keyboard for you to have added to the production. You can provide an idea which changes the entire scale of the song, or it can add a certain element which is the key point of the song. So Kabza could have easily just said, change the drums on this one, rather add these drums.
And that's production.
And that's production.
Yeah.
He's added to the song, he's
Yeah.
changed it, he's added an element that you're gonna forever enjoy as a music listener.
Dope,
You know what I
dope,
mean?
yeah.
So I think people also need to understand that there's a lot more intricacies that go into the situation as opposed to just, saying, I'm the one. Okay, everybody can also be the one. We were all in the room.
Yeah.
Now, I think more and more people understand that music, of course, is very collaborative. And we always hear these things after the fact. People coming through going, oh no, I was playing the drums on that. Oh no, that's me on the keys. But maybe they're not credited on the thing. They may be on the production sheet.
Yeah.
But because you don't know, because we're just seeing, oh, it's Sipho featuring Miss Cosmo. Oh, and who was playing the drums? And then the people are like, oh no, I actually made the entire beat, the drum line, that was me. So every now and then, I guess people will choose to be mentioned as a collaborator. But there's sometimes where they can take a step back and be like, okay, you guys do your own thing.
Yes.
You can put me in the credits, but I don't need to be on the feature. Shout out to it, man. I think that's some dope music to come out of this week. And with that said, we've come to the end of our show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to
Did you
your
enjoy the drink?
cocktail.
We enjoyed the drink and your company. Where
it's
can
almost
people
done.
catch you?
You can catch me on radio every single Monday to Friday from 2 o'clock in the morning till 5.
That's a very tricky time.
It is.
Girl.
Yeah, it is a very tricky time. But it's crazy. What I've realized is that actually people running this economy are up early to get to work at like 6 or 7 o'clock. So by 4 o'clock, they're up getting ready, making sure that their kids are ready so that by the time they leave home, they get to work on time. Yeah, so it's interesting. There are quite a lot of people listening at that time as well.
That's dope. And social media, where can people follow you?
At Msakazi_RSA, that's on TikTok, Instagram, and...
Do you post TikTok videos?
Yeah,
Are you busy?
I enjoy.
Well,
No, I
Besides.
just talk about like, because I'm a radio host from Msakazi, so
Yeah.
I speak about stuff that are current. Like I'll speak about going to AfroNation, I'll speak about topical issues, I'll speak about...
On TikTok?
Yeah.
How do you put that together?
You just literally take a camera and you speak. So it's
For a whole 30 seconds, because TikTok is all about micro videos.
and a minute. There's a minute. There's a minute.
It's up to
You
a
see,
minute now,
Ms.
yeah.
Cosmo.
I've admitted many a time that
must help
TikTok
her.
is not my thing.
No, we're
Must
gonna
help
make
her,
it your
Miss Radio
thing.
Gamola.
We're going
Okay.
to make it your thing.
Sharp
Sipho, please, we know your
What's going on?
TikTok, your TikTok account is as dead as mine. Please, you're not the one.
We're gonna make it a thing.
This is
See,
not about me.
Yours as
People
dead as
want, you
mine.
know what it is? People think like you have to dance.
Yeah.
You see vlogs, you going to a gig. People want to know, what do you do like on a Saturday when you go to a gig? Literally say, yo guys, I'm getting up. Yo guys, I'm in the car. Yo guys, I'm at the gig. Like you don't even have to say it, but you take snippets of videos, put them together, you put a piano song, you're out there. You're rocking. The famous.
Just a piano song. Let's go.
Yeah.
Shout out to our venue as well, Matt Black. Again, it is by Nickel Ways. Pop in for a drink.
Come check out the Msakazi cocktail.
Absolutely, it's delicious. Ask for some extra rum if you're trying to get a little silly. Cozy? What's up?
Yes, I'm good.
All right. Of course, you got the real views coming up with Ms. Cosmo and myself, What Matters to Moochie. Shout out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the content from all of us here at the POPcast. We are.
TikTok.
And TikTok, apparently.
The producer's like, TikTok.
What's good? What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy Moochie, and this week, what matters to me is the future. Now, when I talk about the future, earlier in the show, we did speak about NFTs and cryptocurrency, mainly around Anatii and him releasing his new single as an NFT. Now, the immediate conversation, of course, is being, are we ready for NFTs? Do we understand what they are? Do we know how to buy them? Cryptocurrency is involved there. People don't have a big understanding of what's going on. Now, one thing I'm not against is artists always trying to break boundaries, always trying to innovate and stay relevant and think about the future. One thing that I'm not against is people trying to create a new space and a new way for us to thinking. Anatii has come through and say he wants to have ownership of all his creative work, taking his music off streaming platforms and now trying this NFT route. Yes, we know a lot of people aren't in the NFT game, especially locally. Yes, we know a lot of people aren't into cryptocurrency, especially locally. But we know everywhere else around the world that it is a bit more of a booming market. Sure, it's a little unstable, always going up and down, much like stocks do. But what I think is important now for us to have as a conversation is understanding what we're talking about. So no one is saying that you have to buy this thing. No one is saying that you have to get involved. But at the very least, we're saying you have to educate yourself, especially if you're an artist. You at least have to speak from a point of understanding. You cannot be shunning things that you don't know. If I ask you how does an NFT work, what is cryptocurrency, what does it mean when you own this Anati's new single, most of the people that you talk to don't know what the answer is. And that's the first problem. We're scared because we don't know what it is that we're actually getting ourselves into. So I think it starts with education. Yes, it is the future. It may be something that flops. It may be something that the world moves away from because it didn't work for ABC. But what I think it's definitely going to do is create the groundwork of what the future may look like for artists and being able to sell the art in the new digital world that we live in. It's not a wild idea. It's a new idea. So open your mind out to a little bit more education about these NFTs. So let's understand each other a lot more better so we can have these conversations a lot more honestly. That's what matters to Mushi this week. I'm out. Yeah.
What up, though? Welcome to The Real Views here on the POPcast. All right, so for this week, I checked out some shows that were happening on Netflix, and of course, just kind of, wrapping up certain series that came back. Season 3, Umbrella Academy. I really enjoyed that. I was just a little disappointed in how they put it together and the ending. This might actually just be the end of that if you're one of those people who watches Umbrella Academy. Also, kind of then decided, let me kind of dip in to see what's happening from a documentary perspective, because fiction one side, we're the real stories. And the one that's been trending this past week, The Girl in the Picture. Whoa! What a twisted show. If you just sit and you watch it, you try to understand how everything kind of escalated from one story to the next story, to the next phase, to the next phase. You realize why they call her The Girl in the Picture, because ultimately, they don't actually know her real name, because she had to change her name or her identity throughout her life for various reasons. I don't want to give away too much, but if you do watch it, just understand that there's a lot that's actually going on. You could be triggered if you're one of those people who might have experienced some abuse throughout your life. But do watch it with caution. I do think it's one of those shows that you do need to check out just to understand how people kind of deal with things and the psychology of certain people as well. The one thing that just also kind of always hits the mark for me is also to show you how twisted people are and how they rationalize their bad behavior by thinking that, because I went through a certain thing in my life, then it's okay for me to get away with a certain thing. I don't buy that personally. I really feel like people also need to kind of take some responsibility for their actions. But go and check it out, The Girl in the Picture. It's mad twisted, but it is worth the hour and a half.